All right, let's see. What else do we have on the agenda here? Disney versus X-Men. Let me pull
Yeah,
that
let's
up.
talk about that. You Disney, you're gonna cast a black ex Charles Xavier and Eric Lencher. Like you think that that's gonna work? If you think that that's gonna work, you morons, you you're you're absolute morons.
Oh my God, Cynthia Erivo. I will
Oh,
boycott. I will boycott if Cynthia Erivo is cast as Storm.
Yeah, I hate that casting, but the rumor is that basically Bob Iger is like, no, I just want this movie to be action packed and fun, and Kevin Feige wants social commentary up the ass. That's the rumor.
I can believe it.
I believe it.
I think it's time for Kevin Feige to step down.
I think
That's
so.
what I think.
You think?
Yeah, it's time for him to. Oh, dude,
It's overdue.
He should have stepped down when he's like, you know what, our next movie's gonna be The Eternals,
And it's
I
gonna
also-
save lives.
and it's gonna save lives.
I 100% believe the rumor of Black Magneto and Xavier. That thing has been kicked out for the past, what, 2 or 3 years? They've been
A
talking
long
about
time
that?
now.
Yeah. They're totally going to do it.
I mean, I understand it, but it's the wrong time.
Magneto. How can you make him black?
Magneto needs to be a Jew.
Yeah, he's a white Jew.
Well, we
He
did
needs to be
discuss
Jew.
how you could
Actually
make
making
him
him
from
black
Africa
is
during like
ridiculous.
apartheid or something like that, but still,
But they could totally make it work if they just, universe in Fassbender from the Incursion and do the reboot world. That would totally work. But you need to make Fassbender the MCU Magneto.
they've also been a little too reliant on the previous X-Men, right? I mean,
Oh, they're
it's-
all going away with the Incursion.
Yeah, they need to come up with something new, but again, like this stupid bullshit, yeah, they're fucking up either way, so it doesn't matter.
Magneto needs to be a white man, a Jewish white man, and Charles Xavier needs to continue to stay an elite British man. Like, why change it? It's so stupid because it changes everything about their character when you do that. Just like with
Well-
Black Snape.
Xavier, the thing with Xavier is a wealthy, privileged British man.
Mhm.
Not British, but just a wealthy, privileged, rich, scholarly dude. And Magneto's a gritty, guy that's actually experienced depression. And that's kind of the clash between them. And what they want to do is take that and basically make it MLK versus Malcolm X. That's what they're trying to do with it.
See, and that doesn't
100%.
work, and
Oh,
that
that's
is where
ridiculous.
See, because and that's where we got into that discussion before. The thing is, the main important thing is you have to have Magneto come from a place or a time or a people that have been mass genocide or have had mass genocide basically put upon them, or however you put it.
Well,
Because
it was
that's
that
the most
incident
important
that it was that incident that unlocked his powers.
Yes. But like my point was before, like I was saying, like I understand, like we're getting to that point where, the original X-Men movies taking place in the early 2000s was like in the near future, right? And then when they originally made it, it was in the distant future. Well, now we're to the point where we're past that shit. And for these guys to be still alive is, the actors are getting pretty old as it is.
Yeah, but that's why if you bring Fassbender in,
I
like, you
agree
could
with
do
you
that.
if you could do it that way, but I also think that it's time they moved on from that shit too, and they need to find their own thing that works. But again, we know they can't make it work because of Kevin Feige.
Well, if you want to move on from that, then that means moving on from Wolverine as well. Because, I mean, Logan is a part of that.
I mean, at this point, I'm just saying, like,
Logan is just the characters have been around since the 1800s.
how much longer is even Hugh Jackman going to be able to do this? Right?
It's time for a
Nice.
new guy to play him. They should have just let Henry Cavill take over. Like
Henry
Yeah.
Cavill or Scott Eastwood or something.
Cavill
like
looked
that,
great in
He
the cameo he had. That would have been
yeah. If they're smart, yeah, but they're not smart.
no. They're gonna pick somebody that everybody's gonna hate. Somebody
There's
that
no
just
excuse. We should have a Blade movie by now that was directed by Ryan Coogler instead of him doing fucking Black Panther 2.
Boba
Um,
DeMeo was on Blade.
Yeah,
He was writing the
on it.
script.
Yeah, I know.
And it probably was a banger. Like that
and
dude
there's still-
is Bo DeMeo is capable of leaving his shit at the door and writing good stuff.
I mean, I think
That dude,
obvious-
that
for obvi-
dude not being on a lot of this shit is such a tragedy because that guy's are actually like a real fan of this stuff.
Well, just back to Coogler real quick. Like, I know he denies it because obviously, for obvious reasons, he wouldn't want, you know, Disney to have any claim whatsoever over Sinners. But I'm not surprised that the rumor keeps going around that Sinners was his pitch for a Blade movie. And he's like, all right, I'll just go make it over at Warner Brothers.
Imagine not being able to do a Blade movie. Blade fights vampires at the end. How do we make him gay?
Exactly. Blade is the kind of character you do when you want to like buy some time for other bigger characters, right?
They
Like,
got
'cause that's
scared
easy.
because they got scared because they were actually told that they had to race swap the character, and then when they decided to make Blade white, it actually freaked them out.
Oh, they would never make him white. It'd be Asian or something else.
Where's the subplot about Blade having gay sex? We need to fit that in there somehow. In between Act A and B, he needs to suck some cock.
Well, I mean, we can't be the only smart enough ones in the room to see that after Deadpool and Wolverine, that the smartest thing they should have done was backed up a dump truck full of money to Wesley Snipes' house and say, please do about 3 or 4 old man Blade movies for us real quick.